Brush tip acrylic markers are the rave. So I'm going to take a look with you at Grabie. I know you guys probably, if you've been on TikTok, you've heard of Grabie. They're everywhere. They have alcohol markers, they have paint markers, they have glitter markers, watercolor, they just have everything. And they're taking the world by storm. So let's take a look into these Grabie acrylic markers. I mean, I have all three types, and I also have the alcohol markers, and I also have the gel pens. So they're really out there. And acrylic paint markers are the new thing. Remember, everybody discovered gouache, like I said in my last video? Acrylic paint markers is what people are just raving about. So today I am doing an autumn sketch, and I'm actually drawing in these little falling leaves. I'm doing them kind of randomized, real smooth. I didn't include them in the illustration. What I did is I draw digitally, and then I just trace it onto my sketchbooks for painting if I want to paint it. If I want to color it, I'll just print it out. But in this case, I want to paint it. I love autumn. So here we go. And I'm trying to find a way to messy up these leaves that are falling. And like I said, it didn't come in the original picture, so I'm just literally just making these up as I go. I'm always like kind of particular with the number of things that I put in there. Like, I'll put things in 3s or in 5s or in 7s or in 8s. Really depends. And the original illustration really had more like a curly hair texture, but I wanted to go with some locks. Let's do some locks. And I was thinking, some teal locks, And she's getting her little warm coffee mug or hot chocolate or cappuccino, whatever's in that cup. I love me some cappuccino. I'll tell you that right now. I love me a fall. I love me pumpkin everything. I want pumpkin everything. I want to try them all. So whoever's serving pumpkin stuff, I'm trying them because I want it. Pumpkin pie is probably the least delectable of the holiday treats. And peppermint me everything. When it comes to winter holiday season, I want peppermint everything. And so I'm still currently sketching this, of course. And I thought I could have sworn I fast forwarded this part, but I didn't, but that's okay. That's okay. We're going to get into our illustration today. All right. So, the thing about paint markers is that they are just available and ready to go. There's no prep to put together. There's no water. There's no palette. There's no brush. It's easier to clean up because you just put them away. You don't have to worry about cleaning up a palette or cleaning up all your brushes and your water. I'm telling you to put that in gouache. They find a way to make gouache paint markers. It's a done deal. My brush days are over. If I have brush tip everything. So here's what the packaging looks like that they gave me. Now, for YouTube, they don't give me anything. For TikTok, I'm an affiliate. But I'm reviewing these markers today. First of all, there is 2 different colors on each side. That means like you'll get a tone. Don't worry about it being a lighter shade or a darker shade, because really it's just a whole bunch of colors together, to be honest. Let's start there. The colors are together. You know how the gouache set hit me? It comes in these 2 little pocket size full of gouache, and one's a lighter color of it and one's a darker color of it. Well, this is not the case. All these colors are like close in range, I guess. You can make a color value with them. Some of them are not even close. So there goes that. So if you're expecting for it to be like, oh, they're gonna give me values, that's not what's about to happen. You see these colors? They don't necessarily go. They're just colors, really. And I feel like since it's dual tone, you're literally getting half of what a full marker would be for each color. So yes, it comes in this nice little set, but remember, you reduce the amount of marker ink you're getting out of your marker due to the fact that there is another color on the other end. I'm highly sure they're not mixing it together in the tube. So I'm not going to break down the tube and look into them and see, but it is a dual tone brush tip marker. I thought these were regular like Crayola crayon markers when I first got them. I was like, oh, let me see what these are like. But I quickly realized that it is acrylic. So you can just layer on top of the other, and that works just fine. So let's get into our painting. Now, I was trying to work with angles, trying to see how I'm going to record and all that fun stuff. But guess what ended up happening? I realized that recording from, you're right-handed, you don't record from the right, you record from the left. But I was trying to work with different angles because I'm like trying to get back into this camera and see, you know, what settings or where can I record and do all these different angles. It just didn't work, but that's fine. It's work in progress. It's a process. So for the most part, you're gonna see my hand in these clips real quick, and I'm just trying to get hints of some skin tone colors to put together, and they're not really alike where I can just it's a mess. But I mean, if you have some kind of expertise on acrylic markers, I will take it. I mean, it's fairly new to me, so I mean, I'm used to acrylic paint, but having these acrylic markers ready to go is just, it's a dream. So if they, you know, could do that in gouache, that'd be great. I would appreciate that. I would love that. All right. So you see like a caramelly color in one, and then like maybe like a toffee color in the other. So it's not, they don't really blend well together. And I'm not one that, you know, does coloring by shape until it like make these blobs, but then it makes this amazing work of art and painting. And if you look really, really close, you can see the brush strokes. That's not me. I kind of like smooth lines, smooth blending, a little bit of texture here, a little bit of texture to there. So these particular ones, I feel like the Arrtx ones might be a little better. Not even gonna lie. I think Arrtx might be a little better with the blending, because I feel like this didn't turn out the way I would want it to. But again, a lot of my artwork doesn't turn out the way I would want it to. And so I like how you're staring at my hand for a good timing of the video. And then the lighting too. It's just something I'm working on. Since I'm back and new with all this YouTube stuff that I used to do, but now I'm like trying to get back in the hang of it. Here I'm trying to add details, and these tips are like, they're not too thin, but they're also not too thick. But fine details aren't really gonna be their thing, you know? Yeah, so I didn't get really much of a blend out of these. Normally, I kind of did with the Arrtx markers. These is kind of like, I was kind of block. Now, if the picture was much smaller, it would look more like there was a blend in there. Because I've done this before with my witch coloring, and it kind of looked, you know, it gave it some really good values. In this particular moment, it did not. I was really kind of struggling there. And then when I'm struggling, I take longer than I need to, because now I'm over picky and picky choosy and indecisive and getting not confident because I'm trying to get out of the ugly stage. And if I don't get out the ugly stage, it's going to be ugly to me, and I'm just not going to want to post it. I'm not even going to finish it. But I'm determined to just finish this. I sat here and finished it. It took me like 4 hours to do this. Yeah, I know. Some people may take longer. 4 hours is a pretty good time. If you're filming, maybe it was longer. I was filming, and this is 2 hours of footage, and it was 4 hours total of like actual doing. Yeah. And I was trying to get the lighter. I mean, honestly, the fact that these colors don't really go together, they're just colors just like handed out there into the world, and it's like, oh, here's 72 colors, you don't get 36, you get 72, there's one on each end. It's kind of like, well, I can't really blend them together. They can't blend together. They don't even work well together. They're cool tones and warm tones just everywhere. It's just, yeah, no, it's not my favorite. Okay, and it will go up there if I can. I mean, well, then there's those Cameron Pro Brush acrylic paint markers. I mean, they're like $500. So that's that. And there's this other set that I see people use. It's just called acrylic paint markers, and it's in like a rainbow colored box, and the colors are like rainbow color, then it's black as its background color. I think if you've noticed, if you've been anywhere on TikTok, or if it is on Amazon too, I've seen them quite a few. So, I don't know. I don't know. All right, so I see some progress going on here in between this little glimpse. Maybe it's going to be surprise with what it looks like. But I mean, now it's starting to come together. I'm making up shadows. I don't even have a reference picture that I'm using where I can just be making these shadows up, but I currently am just making these shadows up as I go. And now I smartly decided that maybe the other side would be a great spot to film, and this is like angled. So there's actually like it's not really, I would say like it's like an easel almost, but it's very low. I have it on top of a box, and it's giving an angular position, but then it's taking away lighting from me, which really sucks. So, I mean, after this video, I realized, after a couple of videos, I realized this wouldn't be the angle. I should just stuck to my original way I do videos, but I was trying to be all fancy and get different angulars, and it just didn't work, okay? As someone who's been working with a camera since 2006 even, and editing since 2006, even on the Windows Movie Maker, you would think I would know better, but apparently I didn't. But yeah, this is my little autumn girl. I don't even know what to call her. I really don't. I put in some other type of Grabie markers in there, because I was just like, I need more values, I need more colors, I need more. They don't have burgundy, so I gotta make burgundy, which is fine. I mean, I'm totally fine with just making sure they mix together. I was trying to like see, maybe what should I go with the coat? I went with something simple, like a deep cream color, and it's more like a latte color, like a coffee and cream with the coat. And I thought that went pretty good. Always remember that yellow is one of those colors that are very transparent. So I feel like this marker had a lot of yellow and white included in it, with like burnt umber-ish color, mainly white to make it opaque too. And it wasn't enough. I think it fell flat, and I should have done more than one layer. But that's always, whichever company you go with, yellow is always going to be more transparent. Red is going to be the most saturated you're going to get. And I went with I didn't have such a dark teal, so I decided to get my alcohol marker, which is Sharpie. I went and got a Sharpie marker, and it really I didn't need it. Not necessarily. I mean, I guess in the end, it just didn't, I don't know if it wasn't dark enough or what. I didn't really need it anymore. I was like, that wasn't necessary. But yeah, and then there goes her little teal. I was like a teal lock look. Oh, there you go. I did outline it with Sharpie. Again, add those details. I really thought I was gonna fumble this hat. And I was like, yo, this hat turned out better than I could ever imagine. And I was just mixing back and forth, trying to get, and you know what? None of these sets have dark enough brown. It's always like mid-tone browns, and then the darkest brown kind of almost fades in with the other browns. But I did have one Grabie marker, acrylic marker, that was able to make the brown really dark. Other than that, I would have to use black. So here she is. Oh, those eyes are just like piercing. Beautiful. I went with like a burgundy turtleneck. It's just, the vibe is amazing. And the newsboy hat. Yes, a little throwback with the newsboy hat. But yeah, there's my autumn illustration featuring Grabie acrylic markers. If you want, get you some. If not, you can go with other ones, or you can go the expensive way. But these are kind of affordable, and I think Arrtx is pretty affordable. And if I was to prefer these Arrtx, I think I prefer Arrtx on this one. I really did. I think I did use Arrtx as reinforcements, because I do see Arrtx marker hanging around in there, because I was limited on the browns. You know, I do a lot of brown skin because I feel like that is where my art expertise is, with brown skin versus lighter tone skin. So you'll see me do a lot of mid-tone and darker skin tones, and it's just, that's what I'm used to. And I've done lighter before, and I've done albino before. It's just, I don't know, darker skin tone, the values, the range is a lot more. It's giving a lot. And so that's precisely why, other than my own skin tone, but usually I do medium to dark skin tone. I barely even do light skin tone girls that are black. So yeah, she had a little acorn earring. I didn't really like how that one turned out. Should have made the earring like maybe like a gem looking. But, you know, I didn't want too many random colors together, and I was trying to avoid using purple again, because when in doubt, purple out. So yeah, and I was trying to blend in with orange and yellow. You know, the changing of the leaves, you know, that's why everybody loves the aesthetic of autumn, you know, and it just wasn't, it didn't work. But that's okay. It's totally fine. I'm going to just stick to the mediums I am used to and that give me the best results. And you always know my favorite medium, and I will always say this: it's oil paints and gouache. Everything else, move aside. So here's some Halloween illustrations that I've done during this time period that I didn't show in my last video. So last episode I showed a few coloring pages I did, and these are all available for digital download, and I can link that below. But yeah, these are the Halloween ones that I did, and yeah, I just colored those in. They just didn't make it in the last video, that's all. So if these are recognizable faces and you want to color them in too, they're available below. And of course, the Fantasy Girls coloring book is also available. And that concludes my video. See you guys in episode 3. Stay tuned, make sure you're subscribing, and I'll see y'all in the next one.